had here in the past. This place is really pretty smooth. As far as bumps and handling, there's not a lot of characteristics. The car doesn't get loose or tight or anything like that going around the track. You just kind of hold on the mat, drive around the bottom. So it's not going to really be a whole lot different as far as the way the car feels than anything I drove here in the last 12 years. So, just looking for speed, you just go out there and run laps and try, put something on the car or put a new piece on the car or change a piece and go out and run laps and hope that, I can knock a few thousandths off the run before or speed the car up, and that's just a routine throughout the whole test, really. We'll do a little drafting in the afternoon. Mainly just out of curiosity. I don't know what specifically, if anything, we'll learn during that, but we'll just do it to see how the cars perform and get a good idea of, what our strengths and weaknesses are, and move back to our single car runs and do all that tomorrow.
All right, we'll open up for questioning. We'll get a wireless mic to you. You just state your name and affiliation for each question. Start with Kenny here, and then we'll go to Nate, and then David and Bob.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Dale, is it difficult for you to maintain your focus and attention on what's going on out there, like through this early morning session? Normally when you come to a racetrack, you've got a goal and you're trying to get the car set up for qualifying, you're looking forward to the race and everything. Here it's just repetitive testing. Is it difficult for you to maintain focus and kind of stay awake, I guess?
Yeah, it can be if you don't, as a driver, and this is specific to the Daytona test only, but as a driver, you don't really have to really pay attention to what they're putting on the car or what they changed. And if you don't ask, and if you don't really get intuitive, rarely will the crew chief include you in that conversation. They'll put whatever they're doing to the car and tell you go try again. And if I do it that way, yeah, I get really bored and I fall, I have a hard time staying awake and just have a hard time getting through the day. But so what I like to do, and it takes pretty little effort, is I just plug into what they're doing. I get out of the car, ask what they changed, why they changed it, why they think that's going to be better, what's next, why they think that's going to work, and I try to really plug into the kind of technical things they're doing to the car and it helps me, because we've been doing this a long time, and something they're doing might dig up a memory of a test or something we tried on some cars back in the DEI days that worked. And, so it's good for me to be involved as much as I can. So that helps me, get to click the gate. The day goes by super fast when you're plugged in like that.
Nate?
Nate Bryan, USA Today. Dale, you spoke toward the end of last season about wanting to stay vigilant with Steve about doing a lot of off-season testing and kind of getting a plan together for 2013, so you kept the momentum from last season going. Could you just maybe update us on that? Have you had success with that? And has the new car maybe prevented some of the testing you'd like to do, or are you guys doing a lot of that still?
Yeah, being able to build the cars has made the ability, our opportunities to test limited at this point, but we'll obviously be at Charlotte next week with everybody else, and then we'll have some opportunities probably after that to go to go to Nashville, and Pikes Peak is an option that we like too. Just depends on the weather down there. You sort of have to get lucky with the weather, but that's a really good place to test. They have a pretty nasty bump in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 is a really good corner that you can learn a lot from. We haven't. We probably won't go to Walt Disney World. Just due to the rising cost and being able to acquire the racetrack. It's not profitable for them. They're doing a lot of stuff, their sports car stuff down there, so it's they make more money doing that and having us come test. So we probably won't go there, but we'll go to Nashville. I would hope 2 or 3 times before we end up going to Las Vegas or Phoenix. So we need to learn as much as we can learn and see what, we've got a lot of rule changes in the cars. A lot of things are different, so we need to try to find where our package needs to be, get a comfortable idea where to start when we go to the different tracks.
Are you nervous at all about falling back, or you
But I think it's the same for everybody, so I'm not really worried. I think I'm with a great company that excels in at times like this when the whole sport sort of reset. I think that we have a lot of resources. No reason why we shouldn't come out as one of the better performing teams, especially right off the bat. Obviously, when you give somebody a new puzzle, some guys might figure out some things quicker than others just by chance and ingenuity. But over the entire scope of the whole change and the whole new car, I think that being with Hendrick's going to be a real advantage. And so I'm not really that worried about it. I just like to work. I'm ready to, I just like to be at the racetrack working. I think that we can't, I think momentum, to believe in momentum means you keep plugging away and you keep working, and for us to sit around and just hope that when we show up to Vegas we're going to have plenty of time to figure things out, or hope we're better when we get to Phoenix. I think that's just a pipe dream, man. You got to go to work. You got to test and put in the time to be better. You got to go to the racetrack.
All right, we'll go to David.
Hey, David Newton, ESPN.com. Just last night at the whole fan fest, seemed like there was a lot of energy out there. Drivers talking highly about the new car. At least you just got a good feel about where the direction of the sport is going right now, just from everything you're seeing around you. And second, when you get through with that, can you talk about your new potato chip deal?
Yeah, I would say, somebody asked me on stage last night what I would change about the sport. We get asked that question pretty much every year at a time like this. And we used to have a lot of answers for that question. And I can't, it's hard to come up with something I would change, something I would do differently nowadays. I'm pretty happy with how things have been. I feel like that the sport is in a good place, a good healthy place. We have a good opportunity to grow. And with this car, we have a chance to do something great and really make a big impact. And it's on everybody in the sport really as to how that all works out. But I think all the pieces are there, and we've made a lot of changes that were hurdles and speed bumps. But as far as bringing in the double file restarts and all the things that have happened in the last several years, a lot of those changes have really improved the sport. I think the racing's is exciting as it's been in a long time. You look at some of these old races and look back at some of the events that we had in the 80s and the 90s, and the racing is different. It always is changing, and it always will, but I think we've improved it, and the sport's in a really good place. But hopefully, this new car has got everybody really excited about the potential, and you have to sort of be careful and rein that excitement in a little bit. But it could be a lot of fun. The cars have looked great, and that's really important.
Can you talk about the chip deal?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we've been working on this deal for a while, and I didn't expect it to get that much attention yesterday, but everybody kept texting me. All my friends are wanting bags of chips now. But my girlfriend read me Jeff's article, and so I'll bring some in here for you guys as soon as we can get a truckload of them. I only got one bag each so far. So.
Which ones do you like best?
The jalapeno I like the best. I was surprised. I thought I liked barbecue best, but the jalapeno is pretty good.
Go to Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Since we haven't kind of seen you in a month, are you doing good health-wise as far as the concussions and everything? And then also, as an athlete, but also as a fan of the Redskins, what did you think of RG3 and everything that went down last weekend?
Yeah, as far as everything we went through at the end of the season last year with injuries and all that, I feel really good. It was good to get in the car at the end of the year and be able to run a couple races and get that out of the way and sort of get any kind of doubts or questions that you personally had about yourself or your recovery out of the way. I felt like all that went really good the last several weeks, and as far as how I felt in the car was great. I feel really good down here. The off time has been great, but I feel good, ready to go. Glad I did it the way I did. I think it gave me a good opportunity to get better faster and come back right and come back sharp. So, yeah, it was very disappointing what happened in the game against the Seahawks with RG3. He seems like a really amazing, solid individual and just a good person. He's great for the community and the team. And so that was really unfortunate to see him go down with an injury, and hopefully that now that he's got his surgery done, all the recovery and everything will go as planned, and he can come back better and stronger. But it was an awesome season. I think as a Skins fan, you want to look back on everything as a whole, and it was a pretty awesome season. We haven't had a lot of wins like that in a long time, so it was fun to watch throughout the year.
And you know what it's like to kind of decide whether to play or not. Can you imagine what it was like?
He's in a much different situation as young as he is. You make different choices as a 22-year-old versus a 38-year-old. Much different situation.
We'll go to George and then Claire.
Yeah, Dale, back to George Diaz, Orlando Sentinel. Following up a little bit with what Bob said, what happened last year, is it kind of ancient history for you moving forward, or did you really reflect on, kind of what could have been? You had the strong run, you're in the chase, and then obviously you had those health issues.
Yeah, I really don't look back that much. I only look back on positives. When I think about last year, with the new car and everything, all the question marks about how, who's going to perform well, who's going to come out of the gate strong. To find motivation and excitement, I look back on how well we performed throughout the year, how we were leading the points, and how things were going midpoint in the season. How strong we were in the summer, which had been, traditionally for me, was a terrible time for me historically. But for some reason last year we were really strong in the summertime. So just as a team, we have improved ever since me and Steve started working together. So I'm excited about the car. I'm excited about the opportunities to discover what makes it work and what makes it go fast. And I think that if we apply ourselves and stay focused, we can have a real solid year. But it was a disappointment not to finish as well as we had hoped in the chase and really kind of go for that championship, because we felt like we were a strong enough team in certain parts of the year to definitely do that. So we definitely got some unfinished business and feel like we can put forth the same effort and the same results this year.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Do you have any indication how you think these cars will line up in the draft, and how much will you make of what we see in the draft today at a test versus what we might see in the Daytona 500?
Yeah, it's hard to say what the car. I don't really know what the cars will do in the draft. I expect them to be really similar to the old cars at Daytona. They got a splitter. They got relatively the same package in the back. I mean, there's a lot less downforce, so I don't know what that's going to do, how the cars may handle. We might be able to get cars moving around and guys getting loose and having to work on getting the cars tied into the racetrack, which would be good. That's what made Daytona a lot of fun, was when the surface was really slick and you actually had to work on the handle of the car. So I'm excited to be able to do that again whenever we are able to have that happen. But for the most part, the cars are still pretty locked into the racetrack. The track surface is aging, but it's still relatively in good shape as far as grip level goes. The tires are really bulletproof, so they don't really fall off or wear out that much. So I expect the cars to look similar to what we saw in drafting here in the past, and in the races last year. I think it'll be pretty similar. I don't know if even today, though, after we test and draft and all that, it's not going to be a 43-car pack. The more cars you get out there, it really changes the dynamic of the way things work, and it can change the whole look of what the draft pack looks like when you get that many cars out there. So you only see about 5 or 9 or 10 or 12 cars today drafting, or however many get out there. I don't think it's a good example of what we'll see in the race.
We'll finish up with Jim. I see Kenseth is in the back there. So.
Jim Motor Show Observer, you mentioned a few minutes ago about unfinished business. This might seem kind of a silly question, but is your unfinished business primarily winning a championship? Is that your number one goal?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And with the way we ran last year and getting a real sense that we were we were starting to compete at that level as a team that had the opportunity to win a championship. That felt really good and got really exciting. It's I think we have an opportunity. That our time is now. This is we have a chance to if we can just find some more pieces and keep improving. We've steadily gotten better over the last couple of years. If we can continue to do that and keep applying ourselves, keep working, and not get complacent about certain things, then we can be one of those teams that are sitting there home still with a shot at it. And I really believe that.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you, guys.